Welcome to Public Health Matters, where we talk about matters of public health. I'm Bobbie Bagley, Chief Public Health Official and Director for the City of Nashua's Division of Public Health and Community Services. And I have with me today Kerry Miller, who is the Mobility Manager for our Nashua Transit Services. And so, Kerry, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Transportation is one of the very important factors that address social determinants of health for many in our community. And it's a priority issue. It's something that we identified when we were doing our community health assessment as one of the most needed things where we have quite a few barriers and even gaps. So in your role as mobility manager, tell us a little bit about what that means and talk with us about our Nashua Transit Services.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Bobbie, for having me here. I really appreciate it. This is great. So a mobility manager is someone who, well, in my role in particular, I assist persons with disabilities and senior citizens with applying for our paratransit and demand response services. I also offer information about our fixed route city bus services, and I teach people how to ride the city bus. So if they've never done it, if they're curious or a little nervous about it, or they just want to know the routes, I meet people wherever they like to meet, at their home or at our transit center, and we take a bus ride and we learn all about the city bus. It's pretty fun and one of the great things I get to do. And then just a quick overview of our bus services. So we have a transit system for the city of Nashua. It's our city bus. It goes all over the city. We run Monday through Saturday. We have various routes that go wherever you need to go. And then we do also have our ADA paratransit service. We have a few demand response services where we service some of the surrounding towns to bring folks into Nashua for things like medical appointments.
That's awesome. And talk about meeting people where they are. So you actually go and you'll meet a person either at their home or at the transit station itself, and then help them navigate how to read the bus schedule. Yep. Or to learn the routes.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've done a couple lately. For example, there was a woman I helped the other week. I met her at her home. She has a bus stop right outside where she lives, actually, which was great. So we took the bus downtown to the transit center, and she wanted to get a senior ID card, which we offer to residents of Nashua who are age 60 and older. They can ride the bus for free with their senior ID card, so she signed up for that. And then we rode the Route 2 down Amherst Street to Market Basket because she wanted to know how to get to the grocery store to get her groceries. And we came back into town, and yeah, so that's basically how it goes. I will meet people where they would like to meet. They give me a destination and we see the route. I answer their questions. They get to meet our awesome bus drivers and see the transit center. It seems to be pretty valuable. I've gotten a lot of great feedback about it, and it's available to anybody if you want to learn how to ride the bus.
I know, that's
call.
Awesome. Yeah. Now, will you do that with minors as well? Are you able to do that with kids?
Yeah, definitely. I've done a couple of, not school groups, but groups of youth with some local agencies, like organizations like the Plus Company or Project Search, stuff like that. But I know that before I started at Transit, whoever else was offering that did do school groups from time to time.
That
so
is
if
awesome.
Kids would like to learn, we can do that as well.
So we weren't aware of that because we actually have, in the summertime, sometimes we give out the bus passes for the youth to be able to get to the library or to be able to get to the mall. And so if they've never taken the bus before, it's great to know that they can call Kerry and get a nice little mobility training, right, to learn how to navigate the bus system. That's awesome.
Yeah, and now you mentioned getting bus passes. There are other organizations in town that buy bus passes from us, and they give them out to folks. So anybody who who's in that situation, you get a bus pass or a ticket from the soup kitchen or from public health or what have you, and you need some lessons on how to ride the bus, just let us know, and we can. I'm happy to offer some travel training.
So let's talk about the bus passes, because we are this year have, like I said, we used to do them with the youth to get around to some of the programs in the summer. This year we've been giving out more bus passes because we've been working very closely with individuals that are unhoused or individuals that are trying to get to either treatment or even to their jobs. So we've been giving out bus passes. So let's talk about the different types of bus passes that you have, because when we purchased them, I had a meeting with some of the folks over at Transit, and they talked about different types of bus passes. So can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So we have our regular adult monthly bus pass, for example, which I believe is $30 or $40 a month, and it's unlimited rides. It starts from, the first of the month to the end of the month, and then you just re-up every month. And then we have a rate for a bus pass if you're a senior, if you're a student, or if you are on Medicare, if you're a veteran, disabled, someone with a disability who wants a bus pass to ride the bus. There's a different rate, discounts for those as well. And then we do have tickets. So if you wanted to purchase a book of tickets, you can do that. If you don't think you would use a pass, maybe you're going to only ride a handful of times in a month, so a pass wouldn't be the best fit for you. You can do that. So we have several different options. We do also, if you're a student of Riviera University, Nashua Community College, you can show your student ID, a ticket on the bus, and you ride for free. And then, like I mentioned, we have the senior ID card.
Right.
Anyone over 60, you can also ride for free.
So the students at the colleges, they ride for free as well if they show their ID?
Yes.
I wonder if they're aware of that.
I know they are at Nashua Community College, because there's many students who go there that ride our bus. I don't know how many riders we have from Riviera, but hopefully they know about it.
Well, I only say because we'll get some of the nursing students do their internship with us at the health department, and they can be taking the bus from Riviera up to the health department rather than driving their cars, taking up the spaces in our lot. So I'm gonna
Yeah, exactly right.
So I'm going to
Hey,
remind
why
them
not?
of that they can use their IDs and they can ride the bus for free. So those are good perks for the city.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about the para transit services, because you mentioned the ability to ride between the towns. So which towns are we actually able to ride to and from using the paratransit?
Sure, of course. So
Because we have 13 towns in our region, and I'm sure
Yes.
it's not the entire 13 towns.
No, it's not the entire region. It's not the entire 13 towns. We we have contracted services with the town of Hudson and the town of Merrimack. So basically, they give us some funds to provide the transportation. It's our vehicles and our drivers. But so we transport residents of those two towns. They can go within their own communities as well as come into Nashua. And most people, like I mentioned earlier, use it to get to medical appointments or to the grocery store, things like that. And then in addition, we also work with Sauhegan Valley Rides to provide residents of Milford, Amherst, Wilton, Mont Vernon, Hollis and Brookline.
So that's quite a few.
That's quite a few. That's several towns.
Right.
And same, those residents can travel within their own communities, or they can, come into Nashua for whatever their needs might be. And there is an application for those services.
Okay.
All of them, it's just a quick one page. People can just, they just call us up and they get some info and they sign up and we get them going.
So is that something, Kerry, that they have to sign up annually, or is it one time that they sign up?
For those
And
services,
is there a fee?
It's one time that they sign up. Once you're registered forever. And there is a fee. The Sauhegan Valley Ride Service is $2 each way. It's a flat rate, like no matter where you're going. For Hudson and Merrimack, the fare differs depending upon if you're going like Hudson to Hudson, Hudson to Merrimack, Hudson to Nashua, Merrimack to Hudson, and et cetera. And then we have our ADA complimentary paratransit service, which we provide through the Americans with Disabilities Act. That is if you have a physical or a mental condition that makes it difficult for you to use the city bus. And that's a lengthier application, and there's a couple more conditions. You would have to if you're being picked up and dropped off at a location that is within a certain range of a city bus stop. So there's a little bit more to that one, but that's also something we offer.
And is that something, because if a person, like for instance at the Plus Company, it would then be the company or the organization that would then fill out the application for the individuals?
They can. Someone is certainly welcome to help somebody fill out an application, because there are folks who do need that assistance with filling it out. It can be a lot for someone, or if they have trouble with writing or or seeing or reading the information. Yes, we definitely encourage someone to help anyone with an application if they need it.
And now, in all of these applications, you can pick them up in person and they're available online.
Yes, you can pick them up in person. They're online. They are also in English and Spanish on the website. I'm happy to, direct people to the website to get these materials. They can come in. I can print them out for someone, answer questions. We also offer, if someone is visually impaired, I have a copy of the application that's in a larger kind of font, so someone can go through it and read it that way too. And we're of course amenable to. If you speak a different language that we don't have something printed in, we can get it translated into that for you.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. One of the things that, so tell me about the services, because one of the things that I learned when we were giving out the bus tickets, and we may need to switch that over and think about bus passes versus bus tickets, because the folks that we gave the bus tickets to frequently ride the bus, and so we probably need to get the bus passes. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that we learned was that the buses don't run on Sunday. So is that going to be, how would we assess the need for more availability or accessibility on Sundays? Because there are people that work on the mall, that work at the malls, and they work over the weekends as well. So what would it take for us to get the buses to run on Sundays?
Sure, that's a great question. And I know that from my understanding, there just wasn't the demand or the resources available for Sunday service. So perhaps it would take something like more drivers and more vehicles, or while that's not the first time, I think we've been asked about Sunday service, but I think it would come down to just maybe gauging interest and that kind of thing through perhaps a survey, or, just like maybe holding a meeting with the community to see, hey, who's interested in Sunday service, that kind of thing. So, that's definitely something that's always on our mind that we would, of course, look into should the opportunity arise. Yeah.
Oh, we may have to do that, though. So we might have to have a listening session on transportation. So October was National Transportation Month, as you know, right? And we had the opportunity to have some stakeholders and partners come together at a forum that we had to talk about some of the issues with transportation, because transportation is an issue statewide, with accessibility, with the frequency, of availability of rides to and fro. And so we know that it is something that we want to expand and have more conversations about, especially when it comes to there being a barrier or challenge to getting to appointments, right? So I think we might want to look at having a listening session to hear from the community on that. And that's something that we can actually plan. We can plan it in the spring, winter, spring, to engage the community and yourself and other folks from Nashua Transit to have that kind of conversation. Let's talk a little bit more about this lovely pamphlet, and you have one there, that we have here. So now, as the mobility manager, as you would be training me, so walk me through what you would do with me if you were to take me on a bus ride to navigate this, because with our schedule here, this can be a little bit daunting, to read and follow. So let's talk a little bit about this, and how would you walk me through this bus service map, if you want to call it that?
Absolutely, sure. So yes, and by the way, it can be a little bit, it is a little bit daunting for a newcomer to the bus system. The print is a little small just because we do need to fit all of our routes on here.
It's and this very small.
But I will tell you though that on our website we do have all of these things individually, so you can print these out and look them up individually, which of course increases the size of the route and the print. So that's a good thing there. So for example, I would ask you where you would be looking to go. If you have a particular destination in mind, I could let you know what the route is, what the timing is, that kind of thing, or I can just shoot out some examples if you'd like.
Yeah, let's do that, because there's 12 different, what is it? Is it 12 routes on here?
We have
9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 10 routes.
10 routes, yeah.
10 weekday daytime routes, as well as these are daytime Saturday routes, and then we have 2 night routes. So for example, I would say right off the bat, our busiest routes are the 2 and the 2A, which go up and down Amherst Street. The 2A goes all the way to the Amherst Walmart, and the 2 goes up to the West Side Plaza. And then the Route 6 and 6A, because they go through the south end to the Pheasant Lane Mall. So for example, like, and with all of the routes, some of them leave on the hour from the transit center, some leave on the half hour, so that's just a great way to remember the timing.
Okay, good.
And then on our maps here, on our route maps, there are particular time points listed because those are like the most, maybe the busiest time points, or some good points of reference for folks if you're going to wait at a bus stop.
Okay.
So there are other stops in between all of these things listed here, but we don't list everything because it's just, I think it's helpful to have just a place to gauge off of where do I need to wait at my local bus stop. So if you were...
So if I were leaving from 18 Mulberry Street.
Yep.
And I was going down to Pheasant Lane Mall.
Okay.
Then I would use either Route 6A or Route 6?
Or Route 6, yep. So depending upon the timing. So for example, if you, and you know, from 18 Mulberry Street, you can walk right to the transit center.
Right,
So
right.
you're right there, which is very convenient. So if you wanted a little bit of a faster route, I would choose the 6A because the 6A is sort of like an express, if you will. It doesn't have as many stops as the Route 6.
Okay.
So it would get you to the mall perhaps a little bit sooner if timing was of concern for you. So that one leaves on the hour. So you say you got it at 9 a.m. from the transit center. You get to the Pheasant Lane Mall at 25 minutes past the hour. The bus picks up and drops off at the outside the food court of the Pheasant Lane Mall. So that's the only place that it goes. So if you get dropped off at the mall, you do all your shopping, and you come out and you wait, you would just wait at the food court where you got dropped off to head back home.
All right. Now, are there limitations on the bus to what I can bring on the bus? Like if I were to go food shopping,
Yep.
can I bring all my groceries on the bus?
You can, to an extent. So we have, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. So we have if you have 2 individual bags, for example, like just 2 shopping bags or 2 plastic bags from the grocery store, you can bring 2 of those. Or what a lot of folks do is they'll get the reusable bags, the bigger canvas bags. You can put several smaller bags inside of those, have those with you. Or other folks use those wheelie carts that kind of fold up and stand up. You can put bags in those. As long as you don't have anything that's overflowing, it's acceptable to have that on the bus as well. Just keep your things close to you, keep it kind of like in front of your seat, just so it's not obstructing the aisleway for other passengers.
And not on the seat.
And not on the
Not
seat.
taking up a seat on the bus
right,
as
not
well.
taking up a seat for someone else.
All right. What else can you bring on the bus? So for instance, can a person who might ride their bike, can you bring a bike onto the bus?
You absolutely can.
Okay.
So we have all of our city buses have a bike rack on the front, which fit 2 bicycles at once. So I know there are people who ride their bike to the transit center, and they either put their bike on the bike rack on the bus to bring it with them where they're going, or they could leave it at the transit center, lock it up, and take their bus trip and come back and ride their bike back home.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And then what about wheelchair accessibility? I know the buses have wheelchair accessibility as well.
Yep. So all of our vehicles are 100% ADA accessible, whether you have a wheelchair or a walker or a cane, whatever the case may be, whatever your mobility aid, you can ride with us. You can get in our vehicles. Our city buses fit 2 wheelchairs at once. There's a wheelchair securement area. So when a person gets on the bus, the driver will fit them into that seating area, so they're all safe and comfortable and ready to go. And then on our paratransit vans for the other services, it's the same situation. We have the wheelchair securement area.
Right. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about. I have seen lately a very large burgundy bus coming down Elm Street to our transit station. I hadn't seen that before. So is that a new service, a new bus service that's now being provided?
It's not new, actually. It is a brand new bus, though.
Oh, it's a very large bus.
It is a very large, very nice bus. It's the City of Manchester. It's one of their buses. So for years, the City of Manchester has offered a connection with Nashua. So what they were doing is they were having one of their city buses pick up and drop off folks at the Burlington Coat Factory, the Christmas tree shop area off exit 6. and they would bring them to Manchester to make that connection. The bus would stop at the Manchester Transit Center and bring people there, and it would run periodically to and from Nashua. But what they've decided to do now is they bought a brand new, I believe it's like a coach style kind of
It's
bus.
huge.
It's huge.
It is huge.
It's huge.
Absolutely.
And it's a little more comfortable because it's like a longer ride, I'm guessing. So now they just pick up and drop off at our transit center instead of at the Nashua Mall off exit 6. It's just, it really makes more sense. It's a lot easier for folks. And in addition, that bus, they also bring people to, I think they go all the way to Concord. So they kind of make those couple of connections with their service there.
Okay.
So, yep.
Now, does that bus also go down to Boston?
No, it does not.
That one doesn't go to Boston.
It does
There's
not go to
a different
Boston.
bus
Yep.
that we can take from Nashua. Is that at the exit?
That's at exit 8
Eight.
to Park and Ride. That is
Okay.
Boston Express. They're a separate company. So our buses go, Route 2 goes in that area, but it's on call only. So if you're on the Route 2, for example, you can just get on the bus and tell the driver, hey, I would like to be dropped off here, and they would drop you off there, and then from there you could get your Boston Express bus ticket and go to Logan Airport if you wanted.
So that's actually great because that opens up, again, transportation down to Boston.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So folks don't have to get into that very congested traffic because that bus runs daily.
Yes, it does.
Yes. And it runs up until, it runs after 5 at night because I remember being down at Boston and seeing that bus and going to Nashua. I'm like, I could have caught the bus to Nashua from Boston. Yeah.
Yep,
so that's
absolutely.
actually really good because that does increase transportation accessibility, which is definitely needed. You know, I talked about the importance of the social determinants of health, and transportation is one of those. If there's a barrier to access to health, transportation can be one of those barriers. And so what we try to do is we try to make things as accessible as we can through our transportation services. So that's why I'm really excited to have you talk about what we actually do offer, in Nashua, so that folks understand we can get you there from here.
Yes, exactly. You're absolutely right. Like, transportation is so vital to so many elements of people's lives. It gets them to work, to medical appointments, to the airport, to wherever they need to go. It's very important, and we're here to help. That's really our goal. We want to get people where they need to go to connect with friends, family, with opportunities. It's really what we're here for.
Right. So what are some of the other things that you'd like for those who are watching Public Health Matters today to know about our Nashua Transit System?
Sure. I really just want to know, I want people to know that, like I said, we're here to help. We're here to get you wherever it is you need to go. You can make connections through us to Manchester, to the Park and Ride, to go to the airport. You can take our city buses to get to work, get to school, get to the grocery store. You can learn how to ride the bus with us. You can
learn how to ride with Kerry. So Kerry, so people can call you directly?
Yes, they can.
What's your
Absolutely.
number?
My number is 603-821-2030, and I will pick up the phone. If not, leave me a message.
Or they can access you via email?
Yes, they can. And my email is Miller, Miller, the letter K, at NashuaNH.gov.
Now, are you the only person who provides that direct person-to-person service, through our Nashua Transit System? As the mobility manager, are there other staff that also do this with our community?
I'm the main person that operates the travel training, but of course we have a very friendly, very helpful staff, so if I wasn't available, someone else would surely fill in for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you've also done some really good things as far as language access as well.
Yes, we have. We have a language line. For example, if someone calls and doesn't speak English and they need some assistance, our dispatchers would connect them with the translation service so that we can communicate with people through that, and then we would have everybody on the line, and then we can answer someone's questions and get them information, and that's very accessible for anyone who needs it.
And I know also we partnered on getting some of your I believe it was some of your pamphlets translated into some different languages, or was that something different? Was it the schedule?
It may have been the schedule, or it may have been some other informational materials. I do remember that. I think it maybe was some other of our ride guides for
Maybe that's
for
what it
the
was.
demand
Yeah, the
response
ride
services.
guides. So what? Talk about the ride guides. So what are those?
Sure. It's like what you're holding in your hand there, and we have something similar for our demand response and paratransit services. They contain all the most important information, route schedules, fare information, hours of operation, what you can and can't bring on the bus with you, for a paratransit or demand response service, how to call and schedule, or if you need to cancel, this is what you should do. Anything and everything, all the important details.
Awesome. Now, when we go back to the monthly bus passes or the tickets, do they ever expire?
So the bus passes are monthly, so every month you would re-up. The tickets, I don't think the tickets expire. So if you have tickets laying around, that's okay. You can use them whenever you need to use them.
Yep. So we want to make sure that we get those bus passes used
Yeah.
and those tickets used as well.
Yep.
All right. Awesome. Kerry, it was very nice to see you at our training yesterday. Do you want to talk a little bit about why you felt that was important for transit to be at a training on diversity and equity and inclusion?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, through our work, we work with folks from all walks of life, everywhere in our community, and not everybody, everyone is unique and different, and people speak different languages, they learn different ways, they have different needs, and in transportation, you're just working with so many people that you want to be able to reach everyone and help everyone, and learning how to do that is incredibly important. So that was a very valuable experience. We really appreciated it.
And we appreciated your whole team being there as well. So thank you, Kerry, so much for being with us today on the Public Health Matters, where we talk about matters of public health. Transportation is hugely important because it impacts our health, it impacts our well-being, it helps us get from one place to the other. And it's really good to hear that our Nashua Transit System is making sure that people's needs can be met through transportation. So I'm Bobbie Bagley, and I'm reminding you and everyone else to have a great day today and a better day tomorrow. And thank you for joining us on Public Health Matters, and we'll see you the next time.